This movie broke my soul. It's 1 in the morning, and I just got back from watching Kraven the Fuckwad. I was not prepared to sit through 2 hours of this. Probably would be one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and not just one of the worst comic book movies. And now it's become part of a trilogy of Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven, all movies that have gotten progressively worse as they've come out. I don't know how the Venom movies even got by, but they did. I hate that these movies keep coming out because they cheapen characters that we see, and it gives people a bad impression of them to the point where we probably won't get them in a Spider-Man movie for a while.
You can't keep getting away with it!
The dialogue is some of the worst I've ever heard, not just in a comic book movie, but in any movie. It was just nothing but pure exposition and things that people really wouldn't say. The little brother, Dimitri, in this movie is one of the most annoying characters. They try to hint the entire time that he's the chameleon, which is a character that I've recently read about in comic books, but it's done so poorly that it just made no sense. There was moments where he completely mimicked the voice of Russell Crowe, but really it was just bad ADR being recorded over, so it looked horrible. This movie has great actors like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe, but they are given some of the worst dialogue I have ever heard, and it makes them seem like bad actors. And from that point, I was almost impressed with how bad this movie was. The fact that it could make great actors look horrible was just impressive. It was almost nostalgic. It was like watching the Star Wars prequels again. Really, the whole movie's nostalgic because it feels like it came straight out of the 2000s in the worst possible way. It feels like it's part of a trilogy of just dog shit movies. I totally get why they released the first 8 minutes on YouTube because that's the only redeemable thing about this movie. The moments where there are action, it's actually entertaining because you get the violent goriness of Kraven, which we've been desperately wanting with the Venom movies, but instead they chose to do it with Kraven. We were just introduced to Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven, and now we get the younger Kraven for 25 minutes. And his origin is so stupid. He gets this magic potion, plus he gets bit by a lion, and that mixed together makes his dick hard and he's able to kill people. It makes no sense. And he has these visions with like majestic voices and symbols and all this dumb shit that feels so forced and out of nowhere. And there's so many plot conveniences, like Kraven is just able to find people. And whenever they ask, "How did you find me?" he goes, "I'm a hunter. I hunt people." We're gonna elaborate on that? You can just like track somebody down from across the world because you can smell things? No explanation? Okay, fuck me then. Seeing this in theaters made me never want to go back to the movies ever again because this just crushed me. I'm so happy Sonic 3 is about to come out because I need a palate cleanser. I also have to mention that the CGI is just awful. There were moments where they showed the animals and it looked okay, but then there's moments where it just looked insanely bad. Especially with the rhino fight at the end, which went on way too long, and they even had a close-up on his face that lasted way too long, where you got a real good look at that shitty CGI, and it just makes you wonder, why did I pay for this? I'm not even sure who the real villain was of this movie. You had the rhino, you had this Italian guy that goes really fast. The ending was so funny though, because after Kraven kills his dad, you think, oh, it's over. And then it flashes to a year later and you're like, fuck, this thing's still going on. And then you find out that Dimitri is now the chameleon because he went and saw a doctor in New York that the rhino saw. I don't know how that happened. It just happened. Kraven follows Dimitri outside and taps him on the shoulder, and Dimitri turns around and now he has Kraven's face, but it's on the little body. I remember watching George Lopez growing up, and there was that episode where he had his head on a child's body. That's what it looked like. The rhino might have been more comedic than the fucking guy from Madam Web, and that says a lot because I laughed my ass off at that guy.
Where's my spider?
They took my spider.
I just don't understand how they had the audacity to release this in theaters, especially during the Christmas season. I remember when Sony released the new Ghostbusters movie this year, and I thought there's no way I can be more disappointed than this. Then Joker came out, and then this came out. Did you happen to go out and see Kraven, or did you save yourself the money and the dignity by not going to see it? Let me know in the comments down below. So, yeah. Bye.